I know, but it has no bearing on my life, literally none. What it is you can take a snapshot of where you stand versus the competition, but it has nothing to do with your preparation on the next opponent. It has nothing to do with getting better tomorrow. It just has what's happened. And, so yeah, I know, but I have no reason to know.
The Celtics win this ballgame 108-100. Ben Watanabe in the house. This is the Garden Report on Celtics Blog and CLNS Radio. Well, Brad Stevens doesn't care about the standings, but we do care about the highlights, so let's get right into them for this game. Brad Stevens' team going for the division lead in the Atlantic, of course with a 400 record, so not very impressive, but this was incredible. Avery Bradley pulling a Larry Bird in midair. I don't think Larry Bird even did that one. That one is amazing. Let's see it a third time, get every single angle on this one, and that's of course with the shot clock expiring. But let's go to the next play. John Henson had a nice game on the interior for the Bucks. We're going to see a little bit more of him later. But Gerald Wallace with the posterization there, flying past Ilyasova with the tomahawk slam. That girl's excited about it. And this guy was excited. Jared Sullinger had another nice game, getting double teamed by the Bucks, but he still was able to find the score with that right running jump hook there. He's gotten pretty good at that. And Jeff Green is pretty good at this move. This is really his trademark move at this point of his career, just the kind of running over a guy and hitting the floater on the break. John Henson, told you, I love this guy's shot, that sweeping hook shot. It's so much fun to watch. Let's go into the second half now. Jared Sullinger driving the lane, misses the shot, but Brandon Bass there to clean it up. Bass had another nice game. He's been a very consistent player for this team so far. And then Uncle Jeffrey Green nails the three. He had a few threes in the third quarter. But Jordan Crawford was the star of the game. Gets trapped in the corner. Doesn't matter. He had a quarter to remember in this game. But of course, let's go to Jared Sullinger getting a tip in. But let's go back to Jordan Crawford. Now, Jordan Crawford was unbelievable in the fourth quarter. Brandon Bass hits a nice shot. Assist from Crawford. But Crawford went 5 for 5 playing the entire fourth quarter and had 15 points. But first, the Bucks trying to make it a comeback. A three there from Brandon. A few clutch threes in the second half. But then Jared Sullinger gets double teamed, escapes a double team, fades away from 18 feet, step back, good, and that's the ball game, solely with the game winner. Okay, so let's talk about Jordan Crawford.
Okay.
By the way, Ben Watanabe, NESN.com. Shake hands. Good sport. Jared Weiss, CLNS Radio. Jimmy Evans, I don't even know where they are. I think Evans is in Europe right now. So hey Evans, aloha, whatever they say in Europe. I don't speak that language.
Yeah, I think it's aloha.
You say aloha.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're here with the Bull team working behind us, working hard, putting the rink together. So we're clearly working as hard as the Bull team.
And a guy that worked hard tonight, segues, I'm touching your box score here, Jordan Crawford. 15 points in the fourth quarter. I'm sorry. He exploded in the fourth quarter. He was good the entire game, but especially the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, and that's the big thing here is, they needed his scoring in the fourth quarter, but throughout the game he was still playing solidly. Going into that fourth quarter, 3 and 9 from the field, not great, not awful. 4 assists, not great, not awful. Only 2 turnovers. He was still doing enough to put them in the position to be competitive. And I thought it was interesting that up until that point, everyone had kind of had their turn. Obviously, Courtney Lee had a stretch in the third quarter. Brandon Bass and Jeff Green had a stretch in the third quarter. Obviously, Jared Sullinger and Jordan Crawford delivered in the fourth quarter. It was a full team win. But like you mentioned, Jordan Crawford had his moment to shine in the fourth, but he also, at least in my opinion, by setting them up, he put everyone in a position to be successful even before he had that breakout fourth quarter.
And he had 5 assists tonight.
Yeah.
Well, he's not Rondo. He's not going to get 10 assists a night. But it feels like the way that he's able to be confident with the ball is opening more up for the rest of the team.
Yeah, no, with him, and the same thing with Phil Pressey, is I never pay attention to how many total assists they have. It's always assist to turnover ratio with them. Phil Pressey only 1 assist tonight, but only 1 turnover. That's actually his first turnover since November 20th.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
he's I believe that if you do his breakdown, he's something like 34 assists and maybe 10 turnovers in the entire season. And when you add that to Jordan Crawford, who was, also he was, about 2 to 1. Yeah. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for actually being able to get into your offense. 15 points, in the fourth quarter is great, but it's even nicer when he gives them what they need to get them into that position for that 15 points to not just come in garbage time when you're losing by 20 points.
What's it? The clutchness.
Yeah.
There were a lot of clutch shots, even in like the first half of this game, where they had a big lead. The Bucks were going on a big run, and then somebody would hit a three, whether it's Crawford or Green or Bradley.
Right. Well, I mean, after you've blown 11 and 15-point first quarter leads to a team, every shot,
which is astounding that they were able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And when you saw the Celtics go ahead in the first quarter by a big amount, you saw, the Bucks have them right where they want them.
Yeah.
They're going to come back now. And like you said, then every shot becomes big. Lee had a floater. Avery Bradley had a corner three. Jordan Crawford had a big three from the top of the key, and these all came, second, third quarter when you're not really calling that crunch time, but it was when you think about the recent history between these two teams.
Quick take on Courtney Lee, a little curveball here.
Okay.
He was hurt, comes back, has a pretty good game in a very limited role.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems to be a guy that shows up for this team when they're like in a general sense in trouble, when they're losing, right, or when their offense seems to be stagnant and they need some energy. And he's just been like, because he's such a quick, agile, energetic player.
Well, the shocking thing is that he's doing that without playing that much.
Yeah.
It seems like he's playing more than he is because he's been effective. He only played 9 minutes tonight.
15.
I believe coming into this game, he might have been playing the fewest minutes he has in his entire career.
No
but if you look at it from a per-minute perspective, he's having the best season of his career. And that, to me, has been really impressive because of how efficient he's been. And that was obviously a big question coming back from his knee injury, but as Brad Stevens suggested, maybe the fact that they said we're only going to be traveling for maybe 18 hours, let's leave Courtney Lee at home, let's let him recuperate.
Yeah.
He did seem to have a little bit more of a bounce in his step when, let's face it, in that third quarter, things were
besides
flat.
a couple
they were
three-pointers,
it was they were completely just standing around. Jeff Green hit a couple threes to kind of bail them out when they were just completely stagnant, but Courtney Lee was really the guy who was giving them some energy in those second and third quarters, and also Brandon Bass. Brandon Bass was very big and kind of giving them some oomph.
Well, it's funny. Lee's kind of like the human smelling salt for this team. Okay. It's a bit of a tongue twister. While Bass is kind of the steady guy that's just kind of always slowly building up a good game.
Yeah, and how about that? How about a guy who came to Boston 3 years ago with a reputation for not being the greatest defender, not being the greatest ball mover?
Completely turned that around.
Oh, he's probably the most reliable, like you said, team player on the team. He's not only moving without the ball on offense, he's actually physically moving the ball when he gets it. He's completely the anchor of their defense, and like Brad Stevens said today, he's their rock.
All right, well, let's go to Brad Stevens. When we come back, talk about Jared Sullinger and this new double team, and look at the team 20 games into the Brad Stevens era.
It was really big. Jeff hit some tough shots. If I'm Milwaukee's coaches, I probably look at the film and say, we guarded them pretty well. They just had one of those nights where they made some tough ones. But Jeff certainly made tough plays over and over. And then Bass has been a rock for us. He's been a solid, dependable guy all year.